episode 3 of our Python tutorial series. Thank you for staying in tuned, and today we'll be learning about if, while, and for statements. So let's start with if statements. So to get started, we need to make two temporary variables, a and b. Let a be 5 and b 3. Okay? So let's say we want to check if a is bigger than b. How do we check that? Well, we can do if a is greater than b. So we use this sign. The thing on the left is bigger than this, colon, and whatever we want. So let's make it print a is greater than b. Okay? So if we run this, a is greater than b. That is because 5 is bigger than 3. Okay? So let's say if we want to check also if b is bigger than a or a is smaller than b. We can do that. We don't want to... Yeah, we can do that using another if, but it's going to be really time. It's not going to look nice. Just like 500 if statements in your code or something. So here, we're going to nest another if, okay? So let's say else, which means, so right now we're checking if this condition is true, then we'll say a is greater than b. If it is not true, it will pass it to the else, and then it will print our code. So print a is not greater than b. Okay? So now, it should still print a is greater than b, which is what we want. But what if I made b 12? A is not greater than b. Because right now our Python program is checking, hey, is 5 bigger than 12? No. So move it to the else block because none of the other conditions match it. So a is not greater than b. What if we want to check if a is equal to b? So remember when we did else and then the block after it? What we can do here is, instead of doing else and then if here or something like that, it's gonna be really bad. We can do elif, which basically means else and if at the same time. So what it's checking here is if a is greater than b. If that's true, run the code under it. If it's not, move to the else if, and then here we're gonna say a is equal to b. So there are 3 types of equals. Wait, let me write this down. So there are 3 types, okay? The first one is just equal to, when we're declaring a variable. A is equal to 5. A is equal to 4. Now this will bring false or return false. And the reason why is because double equal sign is also known as a equality checker. It checks if a has the value or is equal to 4. But no, a is equal to 5. We also have a 3 equals 4. So this one means strict equality. This one will not just check if a has the value, if a has the type. So if we make this 4, it will say a equals 4, yeah? Because we convert 4 or the string 4 into whatever this is. But here, this will bring false. This will bring true. So here it's saying A is equal to double quote 4. A is equal to 4. Is that true? Yeah, it's equal to 4. So then why here when we do the strict equality it says false? This is because it's checking the type, the value, the methods, everything. It's checking if this is exactly the same as our second object. Like, completely the same. So that's why here we're doing double, because we just want to check if they have the same value. Okay? We will run print A is equal to B. Okay? So let's just make them both a number. Actually, I'll keep this 12. I'll change 5. So if we run this, A is equal to B. Okay. But what if none of these are true? Then here we can have an else block. Oh, and these can be called blocks, keywords, statements. They're all kind of the same thing. We do print none of the conditions are met. Okay? So if we set like 13, none of the conditions are met. Because is A bigger than B? No. Is A equal to B? No. So then it will run the bottom block or the else block. Okay, let me just comment these out. Now we'll be learning while statements. So a while statement is repeated until a condition is met. So let's say count, and 0, okay? Let's start with that. While we have to have our condition here, count is less than 6, it will do something. So let's print count, and let's do count plus equals 1. So plus equals 1 means add to the already placed digit. So basically means 0 is the already digit that's been already saved in, yeah? It will add 1 to 0. So 0 plus 1 is 1. So here it's saying count is equal to 0, yeah? While count is less than 6, print count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But hey, where's the 6? Because it says less than 6. So 5 is less than 6, but 6 is equal to 6. It's not less than 6. So it only stops here. So this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is our expected output. Let's try it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, why 0 is because here, when we do count equals 0, first we're printing it, then we're incrementing it. But if we did like this, it will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because here, when we're running it, first it starts off 1, yeah? And then it will add it, and then print it. So 0 plus 1, and then print. Here's 1 plus 1, print. But on the 5th iteration, when it says while count is less than 6, it's still incrementing count and then printing it, instead of printing it and then incrementing it. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay, so now let's learn about for statements. Remember when we learned about lists in episode 1? When we made my list is equal to, and then just a list. So let's make one called fruits is equal to, let's say, apple, orange, banana, okay? And what if I want to print each of these? So I want the expected output to be like apple banana, and so on. So it prints all of them in few lines. Well, we can do that in about less than 5 lines using for statements. Okay, let's learn that. For something. So when we iterate over those, and iterate means go through it. When we iterate apple, banana, orange, we want to save it to a value, right? So let's say fruit in, and here's our variable that we want to go over, which is fruits. And here we have something to do with it. So we're going to print fruit. Now, not fruits, because when we add the S, it's just gonna print all of this. But when we say for fruit in fruits, basically what's saying is if we name each of these little values fruit, and for every single one we print it, what would happen? Apple, orange, banana. So this is really nice because we can basically make it in range or something. We can say for fruit in range fruits, oh no, wait, sorry, length. No, this one's a long one. So you do range, which 1 to length of fruits. It says 1, 2. Because here it's saying 0, 1, 2. And because here, when it says range, it's going to do 1 and until 3, which is 2. Because for some reason, range only does, if you say 1 to 5, it will say 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't do 5, just like our while block, remember? So what we do here is just add plus 1. 1, 2, 3. So basically, this is telling us that we have this many fruits. So what if we want to count the fruits? There are 2 ways. One of them is long, one of them is extremely short. Here we can say amount plus equals 1, yeah? Amount is equal to 0. And then at the end here, we'll print the amount outside, okay? Amount. Tap. Okay? So tell us 3. Apple, orange, banana, 3. But I mean, this is kind of a lot, yeah? You can just say print. Actually, no, I'll use the amount variable. Amount is equal to length returns the number of items in a container. Okay, so we say fruits print amount. And it says 3. Now the for loop is kind of nice, like for counting the amount, because what if you want to do something else at the same time while you're counting? So here we can say print I counted 1 fruit. So it says here I counted 1 fruit, I counted 1 fruit, I counted 1 fruit, and it says 3. So actually, instead of the I counted 1 fruit, you can replace it with other stuff. And I'm not sure how you could use this, but it's a nice trick to learn. You can use range 1 to whatever you want. So it will start with 1. And here it says 1, 2, 3. Yeah, how many fruits we have. So 1, 2. And why did it stop at 2? Because we need to add 1, just like our while block. So 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, I want to teach you guys about list indexing. It's basically where fruits, let's say we want to print the first item of fruits. Okay? Print fruits. This just prints the fruits. I want apple to show, yeah? You use this thing or the square bracket to give us a index. We want the first one, yeah? What? Why orange? This is because indexes go from 0, 1, 2. So let's replace this with a 0. And we got apple. But hey, what if we have a really big fruits fruits list? Sorry. And you want to find the last thing. So here we say 0, 1, 2 is banana, yeah? So you click this, it says banana. But what if I add something else, like cherry? It still says banana. But I don't want to keep going over here and making it 3 and 4 and 5. So we use -1. So what does this mean? 0, 1, 2, 3. What if we go negative? So it will go all the way back and pick the last one. Cherry. So this is a nice trick if you want to find the last thing in a list. So here it's cherry, yeah? What if I make this blueberry and we run this? It says blueberry. So it's kind of nice, yeah. Okay, thank you for watching. Episode 4 will come out later this week, hopefully. Thank you for watching again. Please like, subscribe, and see you next time.